When we took it over in '79, somebody had corn on it for a good number of years before that, and it was I sort of wanted to change that as soon as I could. So we, for the first I guess 15 or 20 years, we kind of threw in some alfalfa and a few other interesting. We had sunflowers on it for a couple of years, so just something a little different. The fact that it was becoming degraded, the topsoil, because of a bit of a slope hill, the runoff from the highway, and a bit of heavy clay. It wasn't great farming land anyway, and you figured, well, there's no point kind of making it worse than it already is, and it sort of gives a bit of buffer to that end, and you figure, oh well, that'll be a nice stand of trees someday to kind of protect the sort of the west end of the farm from prevailing winds and so forth. So I think it was sort of that I think protect what you're going to keep farming and retire what was becoming a bit iffy as far as being able to sort of get much crop off anyway. But if you look now upstream and certainly downstream, it's been a wider swath of land that hasn't been wildlife corridor, if you want, or land that hasn't been farmed. And so I thought, well, this has always been a fairly narrow section through here, so maybe we could kind of push that out a little bit and kind of make it a little broader. So I thought, well, we got a nice low spot over there. I want to expand the sort of the wild area, if you want to call it that way anyway. So why don't we just put a pond in, cut off the drains, and I know there's always going to be a little bit of recharge to the pond because I know there's a spring that we drain. So you think, well, that's an easy thing. And then you say, well, we got a pond, now what do you do around the pond? And that's when you get into, oh well, let's add some trees and expand the width of this particular section. Up by the highway, I think we managed to stick in about 2,000 trees. We didn't quite take enough out, so it's getting a little crowded there. The new section on the other side, Upper Thames, has got to put in a mixture of 1,600, and it's I guess their usual mixture for this area. So hackberry and hickory and maples and bur oak and cherry and spruce and tamarack so there's 1,600 on the far side that kind of are in the pond area. Well, for me, it was all just fun. It was it's a hobby. So was there any concerns? Not really. I suppose the only concern is neighbors shaking their heads saying, "What are those Mayberries doing now?" I suppose like everything else, if it's something that you haven't seen somewhere before, you kind of always wonder, well, I wonder how this will work. That kind of, well, it's something new. That sort of thing, but nothing major. The thing I'm happiest with is the fact that I no longer have, well, at least on that side of the farm, I no longer have water leaving the property directly into a water course. I've been able to stop that, and that every time I look at that, that's what I think, is that there's my farm drains stopping, and then it can slowly seep into this sort of thing. And I think, yep, that's what I built this for, sort of thing. And once all the trees and reforestation get going, then you figure, well, that slows it down even more.